Welcome to another Meeples and Milkshakes Board Game Cafe unboxing video. I'm Jim, and we have a lot of boxes to unbox this time. Last time, if you remember, I said on the next video I'll show you the whole store because we'll all be ready to go. Unfortunately, an hour after that was taken, we received some unfortunate news from our family, and we had to travel out of town for a week to visit with family. We had a health crisis in the family that needed our urgent attention. So we did not have the opportunity to get all the store ready, which is why it's still not open. We got back late last night, and today we were able to get all the shipments that would have come last week. And so we have something like 14 or 15 boxes to unbox. And once we get that done and we get our website updated, we'll be able to finish getting everything ready to go to open the cafe. We have a lot of people waiting for special orders in this shipment, of course, as we always do, and so it's a priority for us to finally get all of these boxes open. So let's get to it right away. Pretty sure this was special ordered. We were out of stock and somebody requested it. The Magic Labyrinth. This is a kid's game. I have not played this, but as you can see from the box, there is some stuff underneath the board and you're trying to get it out. I wish I could tell you more, but it's a very popular game. It's been around for a while, and yeah, there it is. That's the Magic Labyrinth. Next up, we have the new box version of the Castles of Burgundy by Alea. And this is a very, very fun game. I haven't played this in a few years, but I definitely love this game, and so do some of my friends. I can't even properly explain this, but there's dice involved, and you're trying to collect the right tiles, and it's really quite a fun game and pretty on the table. And this is a new box version, so you know, I'm not sure what else is new in this version of the game, but the box is pretty cool. That's Castles of Burgundy. Here we have a copy of the standard version of the Icewind Rime of the Frostmaiden Dungeons and Dragons book. And I'm not going to crack this open. I'll leave that to the person that buys it, but it is an adventure for characters of level 1 to 11. 5th edition adventure. Yeah, so there we go. Some more restocks, like the Dune, Ixians, and Tleilaxu house expansion. This adds some additional houses to the Dune board game, which we also have in stock. Ghost Blitz is a great kids game, and this is the well, the junior edition of Ghost Blitz, and we wanted to make sure we had this in stock all the time, so we got a bunch of those in. And I think actually, see if we have, I don't remember if we have Ghost Blitz or Ghost Blitz Junior in the cafe library, but we'll make sure that we have Junior in the library for sure. We have enough to do that now. There we go. We were running low on Cartographers, which is an amazing flip and write game. And oh, that was upside down. We'll show you the back as well. And so this is a game that's played over 4 rounds called Seasons. And there are 4 different scoring cards that are out each game. There's actually 16 of them, and you use one from this pile of 4, one from that pile of 4, etc. One for each season. And each season, 2 of the scoring cards are active and in effect. So you have a lot of replayability because you can have different combinations of rules all the time. And then you're drawing these cards that have different shapes and terrain types, and you're basically drawing your own customized map that you discover along the course of the game. There's a bit of player interaction because there's some monster assault cards, and you have to pass your player sheet to one of your opponents, who will then mark it up with some monsters that can damage you if you don't take care of them quickly. Super fun game, scales to any number of players. Everybody just needs their own player sheet. And this is one of those games you can even play remotely over Zoom if you so choose. Which is something that we did earlier on in the pandemic, and just an awesome game. And like, we've played this with lots of different player counts, and it's super fun. this one will be played for a long time, I'm sure. In one of the recent videos, we unboxed Stick'em, which is a trick-taking game, and it was suggested that we should have another copy for the cafe library. So we brought in two. We're going to have one for sale and one more for the library, so we'll have two copies in the library. We actually got to play this 2 weekends ago, and we played it with 6 people, and it was really, really good. I mean, this is a very, very simple game. You'll see the rules and you'll be like, what, that's it? This is boring. What, there's nothing to this game. And then you actually try to play it. Wow. Very, very simple set of rules. And when you're trying to figure out what everybody's going to do on their turn and how it affects your choices, oh boy, this is a great, great game. And I am looking forward to seeing people enjoy this at the cafe when we open. We are hoping that the cafe opens by the end of this week. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. And this will be in the library, and we'll have at least 2 copies in the Board Game Cafe library. Stick 'em. Next we have Barkham Horror, the card game, the Meddling of Meowlathotep. Meowlathotep, yep. This was a April Fool's joke that turned into a real product, and it is a special scenario for Arkham Horror, the card game, the cooperative living card game. And I'm looking forward to trying this one out once we get back to playing Arkham with our friends that we play Arkham with. So we have a bunch of these in. Some of them are already spoken for, but I know this one is going to be popular, so we brought in a bunch. So there we go. That is Barkham Horror. We had sold out of my First Bananagrams, which is the kids-friendly version of Bananagrams. So we brought that in because, as we've said many times, we do want to make sure we have a good selection of kids games in stock at all times, because you know, kids should be able to enjoy games too. We have lots of serious games for serious hobbyists, and we have classic games for people who are less serious about the hobby, just like to have fun playing games. But kids should get in on the action too. And so games like this are accessible to little kids, and that's great. Speaking of serious letter games, Letter Jam. This is a cooperative word guessing game, and it's very unlike others. It is a tricky game. This is probably the hardest word guessing game I've ever played. That is to say, it's hard. The rules are not hard. They're kind of tricky to learn, but then once you know, it's like, oh, this isn't hard. It was just tricky to grasp. But once you're playing it, it's actually really straightforward. And you know, once you play the first couple rounds, you just breeze through the rest of it. You want to play it again and again. You have a letter in front of you, but it's facing everybody else at the table. You don't know what it is, and everybody else has a letter in front of them too that they don't know what it is. But collectively, you're going to try to propose words using the letters that you can see in front of everybody else, and you're going to point out the order that those letters are being used in that word by putting poker chips next to each of them that have numbers spelling out the ordinal position of each letter in the word. And people will use those hints to try to figure out what their letters are. And everybody's got a bunch of letters that they're going to try to guess in sequence. And by the end of the game, hopefully everybody will have guessed, figured out what all of their letters are, and then they can try to figure out what word those letters make, which is a little like an optional end game bonus thing if you can actually figure out what all those letters were meant to be. So at the start of the game, you take some cards out of the deck of letters and you make them into a word, usually like a 5 or 6 letter word, and then you pass that to the player beside you, and they shuffle that deck, and those are the letters that they're going to be guessing throughout the game. Everybody guesses the letters at their own pace. You hopefully give them good enough clues early on that they can guess that letter right away and move on to the next, but it might take some players 2 or 3 rounds in order to guess what their letter is, due to various ambiguities in the words that are being used by people to give clues out. Just a great game, but this is not a basic word guessing game. This is definitely a thinky game. The rules are a bit tricky to grasp at first, but again, it is not hard, especially if you have somebody at the table who's played it. They can easily teach everybody else and you can get up and running. But learning it on your own for the first time take you a few minutes to figure out. But it's a great game. It's totally worth the effort. Here we have some special ordered expansions for Unstable Unicorns. We have, let's see, the Unicorns of Legend expansion pack and the Rainbow Apocalypse expansion pack. I can't tell you exactly what's in these because I haven't played, but they do have some extra cards to play with Unstable Unicorns, I can tell you that much. So these will be off to the person who requested these shortly. Wow, that's a big box. Project Elite. I actually don't know about this game, honestly. Like, there's so many games in the world and I can't possibly know them all. All I know is there's been a ton of buzz about this game and it looks really cool and I wanted to bring it in. Somebody's going to want this game for sure because it's so cool. And you can see on the back of the box there's a ton, I mean, of course there's minis. It's from CMON, which if you're not aware stands for Cool Mini or Not. CMON makes cool games with cool minis. This is another one of them. So this will be on the website and available on the shelves here at the Board Game Cafe, Project Elite. And then this one was requested by somebody, but I don't know if they've actually confirmed this order yet. So we brought it in thinking that they wanted it, but I don't know that they've confirmed it. So it might become available on the website. This is A Feast for Odin, which is a really good game by Uwe Rosenberg. I've had the good fortune to play this one, and has a lot of the classic Uwe Rosenberg mechanic tropes in it, including pentomino placement and all kinds of cool stuff. It's a big beefy game, and it takes a while to learn and play, but it is a heck of a lot of fun and it's a fantastic game. I highly recommend this one, and if we are sold out, just ask for it. Email us info@meeples.ca and we can try to order it again. I think it was in stock last time I checked at the distributor, but we did wait for a while for this one to come in because it was sold out for a while. Okay, so here is the alternate cover version of that D&D book that I showed you earlier, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This was special ordered for one of our local customers, so it will not be available, unfortunately, but these usually go quickly. I'm not sure if they're still in stock, but you could ask for it and I could try my best to get it in for you if you're interested. Next up, we have, for the first time, we have Detective, a Modern Crime board game Season 1. So there was and is a game by Portal Games called Detective, a Modern Crime board game, and it's a really cool cooperative detective game. And they decided, let's try to make a simpler version of this. And so this is a very similar game. Instead of having 5 scenarios in the box, it has 3. And it, like it says on the back here, it is based on the award-winning detective board game. And so it's maybe a simpler version to get into. But in the, and I have not played this yet, but in the full version of the game, you actually use your computer or like, tablet or something, and you actually search online databases they've prepared for these different detective cases, and you use that as part of your game. So you do need a computer to play at least the full version. I'm not sure about this one. Try the Suburbia case for free, download the case and have fun. So there is an app for it. So there's, I think, a digital element to this game as well. This is by Portal Games. Being careful not to damage the goods, which are right up at the top here. Oh, actually, it's some protective stuff, so that was unnecessary, but here we go. It is a spoiler, I do believe, that Dungeon Mayhem is in this shipment. All right, so here we have Dungeons and Dragons Adventure Begins, which is a cooperative board game. So it's like an entry into Dungeons and Dragons. Haven't played it yet because it's brand new, but looks pretty cool. People have been talking about this one, so happy to have this in. Next up, we have bunch of sleeves that were missed in our last shipment. We still do need to keep sleeving some games, and these ones were out of stock. They finally got back in, so we can sleeve a bunch more games with tiny cards. Next up, we have Vital Lacerda's Railways of Portugal. This one is special ordered, but there is another copy in the box that will be on sale. This is an expansion map for Railways of the World, designed for 2, 3, or 4 players. You'll need the base game to play it, or Railways of Nippon will also work to play this game. And so you can see on the back of the box, there's a beautiful map of Portugal and some cards. And if you've ever played Railways of the World, this is just another map. And that's a really fantastic game, Railways of the World. Last time I tried to get it in, it was out of stock. So hopefully that'll be back in stock soon, because it's a game I would like to stock here at the store. Oh, cool. So let's take a look at this together. This is Clank Adventuring Party. This is a new expansion for Clank. And let's see what it says here. The Thieves Guild is recruiting. Clank Adventuring Party expands your merry band to include up to 6 players in your dungeon run. Want a new thieving identity? Shuffle up as one of 6 unique characters, each with their own starting deck and special abilities. There's Dwarf, Elf, Orc, Mage, and a Monkey Bot, and a Cat, Whiskers. So this adds a bunch of new stuff and a sideboard for 5 and 6 players, a bunch of other components. Looks very cool. And so you do need the base game, of course, being an expansion. And this is honestly something I've wanted for a long time, because we've played this with 5 players and wished that it was a 6-player game. Sometimes we pull it off the shelf thinking, oh, it's a 6-player game. Oh, and it's not a 6-player game. Actually, I think it might only be a 4-player game out of the box. But it should be a 6-player game, so now it is, and that's awesome. Clank Adventuring Party. Next up, Tammany Hall has been reprinted by Pandasaurus, so you know this is going to look really nice. Tammany Hall is a very interesting game about politics in New York in the 1800s, I believe. And this is, I don't think there's too many changes in this game. I watched a video about it a few weeks ago, but with all of the things going on here, I've forgotten all of the juicy details. I just know that this is a really fun game, and I'm really glad it's been reprinted. And it is kind of topical, I suppose, right now with the election, something like 44 days away in the United States. So let's see what kind of things are going on there. But you can try Tammany Hall and see what was going on in the 1800s in New York. Oh, there it is. Been looking forward to finding these. It's a smaller box than I was thinking it was, but honestly, knowing what this game is, it makes sense that it comes in a small box. This is a deck building game for 2 to 4 players with a twist. You're a kid. And in this deck building game by Grant Rodiak, you are trying to recruit your friends to come and play in your fort with you. And I can't wait to play this. You know what? Forget it. We're opening it. We have to see this game. I have watched so many videos about this and watched playthroughs and just dreamt of playing it myself. This copy is officially now the library copy. So let's crack it open and see what we've got. The rules are pretty simple in this game. And so the book is not very big. There's not a lot of writing in here. It's actually quite simple to play. I recommend watching one of the many awesome videos online to learn how to play. There's these really nice player boards that are very, very thick. You can see there's some recessed areas in here for components to sit in, which is very, very nice. And also some cards can get tucked in on the side here, and there's a cutout for parts of the cards that have an icon in that part of the card. And the turn summary is right here, just making it even easier to learn. how to play. And so you can see it's a 4-player game with a victory track board. And some of the cards are going to lined up there. Then we have 4 quick reference cards. I wish all games would include these. Quick reference cards for everybody so you can see what the iconography is. And the first time you look at the cards, you're like, oh my god, there's so many symbols on the cards. What does it all mean? But if you watch one of those videos, they'll explain what all the symbols mean in a couple of minutes. It's actually really straightforward and making it even easier, these awesome player sheets. Now, here are the cards themselves. They're very nice. The art is very nice on them. Let's just crack that pack open. Take a look. So this is a Leader Games production. Art by Kyle Farron, who did many great games, but including Root, is probably most famous for Root. He also did Dungeon Mayhem, which we're about to look at next, which he also did the art for. I love his style of art, and super excited to show you all these cards. We've got Ace and Sparky and Rusty and Bud. These are all your buddies that you want to have come play at your fort with you. There's just a ton of them, and they all do really neat things. And this game is super fun, and I cannot wait to play this game. So that is Fort. There's all these, there's pizza. These are pizza tokens. I don't know if you can see that well. There's pizza tokens and toys. And I can't remember what these ones are. These are, I think, for the players themselves or something. But yeah, these are super nice little components. And then there's some more cards in this envelope here. I actually don't remember what these ones do, but let's take a quick look. I think, oh, these are perk cards, right? And made up rules, yeah. So you can get a made up rule and you get some special rule just for yourself. Yeah, those are fun. So some of the cards, I think, give you perks and made up rules. Some of the cards, after you use them, because they're so powerful, if I remember correctly, they get removed from the game, but other ones you get to put back in your deck and use them over and over again. So that's pretty neat. So anyway, Fort is awesome. Grant Rodiak has a winner here. I'm so glad he made this game. We have, some of these are already spoken for, but I think we have 2 or 3 copies left, and we can get more. I do believe it's still in stock. So there we go. We got 6 in total. Like I said, well, really 5, because I just cracked one for us here at the cafe. A couple of them taken care of, so I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 that are left. That's Fort. Love it. Okay. Next up, the Black Edition of Insider. This is the new, spicier version of the hit conversation game, Insider. So Insider, I always just call it 20 questions. It's really just 20 questions. It's somebody's got a word that they're trying to get everybody else at the table to guess, and they're gonna, well, is it a person? No. Is it a thing? Yes. Is it bigger than a bread box? No. Is it food? Yes. Is it a vegetable? No. And everybody around the table is going to be trying to figure out what the word is. And there's a timer. Of course, there has to be some pressure somewhere, right? So there's a timer. But then also, one of the players, before this timer started, got to sneak peek at the card and find out what the word was. But they don't tell anybody else that they are the one, because everybody else had their eyes closed when they were figuring all that out. They're going to be helping. They're going to be trying to sneakily lead people in the right direction, but not so blatantly, obviously, that you know that they're the insider, because they will win if the word is guessed at the end and nobody figures out who the insider was. But if you can figure out who the insider was, if you weren't the insider, you're one of the people guessing, and everybody else can figure out, oh, well, she was the insider, then everybody else wins. So, boy, is this a fun game. And so this is the not safe for work version, let's just put it that way. Insider Black. One of these is in the library. One of these will be for sale. Next up, we have Dungeon Mayhem, an action-packed card game for 2 to 4 adventurers. Split the party and unleash the mayhem. Do you have the guts to bring the glory? Play as one of 4 brave, quirky characters, barbarian, paladin, rogue, or wizard, battling out in a dungeon full of treasure with magic missiles flinging, dual dagger slinging, and spike shields dinging. It's up to you to be the last adventurer standing. This, another game, art by Kyle Farron. We've brought in the expansions as well. There's another one underneath Gudetama, which is Monster Madness. And I think this is also a box, like a box to store everything from all the expansions in. So there we go. This game has been growing in popularity over time since it first came out. I think the expansions have helped. And so that is new for us. I have not played this yet, but I do look forward to playing it. I think we're going to put one of the copies in the library, but not the expansions. So that is Dungeon Mayhem. Next up, a tricky egg card game called Gudetama. Channel your inner lazy egg in this over-easy trick-taking game. Take as many cards as you want, but don't get scrambled on the last card. Very low complexity game by Renegade Game Studios. Takes about 20 minutes and plays 2 to 7 players. One of these is going to be in the library, so let's just quickly take a peek at what's inside. I did look at the rules for this ages ago, but I've since forgotten how it works. Very excited to see this finally come in. So it contains a deck of cards. Shocking. Let's take a look at those cards. Oh, that's the trick part, is getting them open. There we go. More sleeving in our future. Surprise, did I get you? So, some cool cards. Let me turn these around so you can read them better. Shake or get out of the way. Nice art on these cards. Where's the rule book? Oh, I must have dropped the rule book over here. Here it is. Gudetama. Shuffle all the cards, deal 7 to each player. A round consists of 7 tricks. In the first round, determine the player to lead. At random, after the first round, the player that took the final trick will lead. There is player elimination, but this is a fast game, so hopefully that's not too bad of a problem. On your turn, it says the lead player may play any card from their hand. Subsequent players have the choice to follow 2 options for their play. They may play a card with equal or higher value than the highest card played thus far in this trick, or they must play their lowest value card. It says the player who played the highest value card wins a trick and will lead the next trick. In case of a tie for the highest played card, the last of those high cards wins the trick and will lead the next trick. The player that wins the final trick of the round will score the card that they won the final trick with and put it face up into their scoring pile so that everyone may see their point total. Scored cards will not return to the deck during a game. When any player equal or exceeds 21 points, the game end is triggered. So that's quite interesting as a variant on trick-taking games. It's all about timing in this game. When one is played in the final trick of the round, every player will score the card they played instead of just the player that won the trick. Ooh. So depending on how the round is shaking up, you might save that one for the end of the round. The 14 cards are the highest value, but when a player wins with a 14, they must pick another player besides themselves to lead the next trick. Ooh, okay, so very cool. So you got, oh wow, this is neat. So very, very simple game, but one thing that we're learning about these trick-taking games that are coming out lately, and it has been a very popular game mechanic, is they're coming up with some really neat new mechanics for these games. And if this is even half as good as Stickum, it's going to be a winner. I do like the art on them for sure. And yeah, there we go. This one is in the library. So that's that, and the rest of the copies are for sale. Ooh, yeah. Okay, demo copy. Let's open this. Marvel Splendor. Marvel Splendor. Oh, so excited. Space Cowboys. Marvel Splendor. So, Splendor is an awesome game. It's themed about gems, but in this game, I believe it's Infinity Stone. So Splendor with a marble twist. Let's see, game setup. Yeah, so these are Infinity Stone tokens, and there are gray shield tokens instead of the gold wild tokens. So just like Splendor, there's level 1, 2, and 3 cards. They're called character cards instead of development cards, and it's set up very much the same, and the game plays very similarly. I can see here from the cardboard there's something that's very much like the nobles from Splendor, and there's also something here that is reminiscent of the this is reminiscent of one of the City of Splendor's expansions as well, so that's cool. So there's a bit more variety in this game than in the base Splendor, and the chips are nice. Ooh, these are nice heavy thick ones like in the original version of Splendor. So I do believe in later versions of Splendor they came with thinner chips, so this first printing is really nice. Here are the cards, and just like in the base game there's a nice insert for the 3 different sets of cards. Art is really nice on these cards actually. So you can see you'll need to collect the Infinity Stones of these colors in this quantity in order to get this card, to get those points. And there's some additional things going on in here that I'm not familiar with yet. Looking forward to that. So there's similar stuff as in regular Splendor. You have reserving cards, recruiting cards. The green Infinity Stone is special. Players need 1 to complete the set of stones. All level 3 characters show the green icon. A player takes a green token when they recruit their first character with such an icon. No player can have more than 1 green token in their play area. Ooh. Very interesting. So some cards show 1 or 2 Avengers tags. That's these. The first player who gets at least 3 such tags automatically takes the Avengers Assemble tile, which is worth 3 infinity points. So it's like Noble, but it's based on these tags. So it's another race in this game. When a player has at least 16 infinity points and 1 bonus of each color and a green token, they meet the conditions for assembling the Infinity Gauntlet and trigger the end of the game. Complete the round, so each player has played the same number of rounds, same number of turns. Yeah, very cool. So it's nice that they were able to take Splendor and theme it in a way that was meaningful and an improvement. I think this is going to be an improvement over the base game. So looking forward to playing Marble Splendor. This copy is, of course, for the Cafe Library, so come on down and give it a try. And the rest of the copies are going to be for sale. Some of these are already spoken for, but some of these remain available to perhaps you. So that's Marble Splendor. Very cool. Next up we have, finally, for the first time since April or May, we have Azul. This is an amazing game. I do believe it was a Spiel des Jahres winner. Oh, it's tight in that box, which is good. Next Move Games, Michael Kiesling. Azul, beautiful game with really nice tiles. Now, I do have our copy right here, so I don't need to open another one right this minute. We have some third-party player boards in here as well in our version. So this is the nice player board, but the real nice part about this game is this bag of beautiful tiles. So here are the tiles. Ooh, there we go. There's 5 different colors with nice designs on them, and you are going to be drafting these off of these plates each round. There's going to be a bunch of these plates on the table, and maybe on your turn. So you have to take all of, from one tile, all of the ones of a certain color. So you can't just take one black, you'd have to take both, or you could take that one or that one. The ones that you don't take from the plate get spilled into the middle of the table, and they'll be available for other people to take later. Depending on the number of players, there's a certain number of these plates on the table. Once all of the tiles have been taken that were set up at the beginning of each round, then that round is over. And what you're going to be doing with these things is you're going to be placing them onto the board. You're trying to complete an entire row of the same color. You cannot do this. If you've put a certain color in, you can't put the other colors in. And if you do manage by the end of the round to complete a row, then you get to take the rightmost tile and move it over into here, and you get to score that tile. The remaining one goes back in the box. Once the bag is empty, you would then refill the bag and start drawing again in future rounds. Because this row wasn't finished at the end of the round, they're just going to stay there. You don't want this to happen as too much. It will happen. It's completely natural and normal, but you want to optimize by filling the rows in this round. You start the row if you can. Next round, if you get another yellow there, you'll get to slide that yellow over there, take these ones, put them back in the box, and next round you'll be free to put a different color there, like maybe you put the black tiles there next round, and if you fill up those ones the next round, then you get to slide that over there. Ideally, what you're doing, for example, is maybe you have a bunch of reds and the red ones don't have a design on them, which is interesting. And so then you would get to slide this one down, and because you're sliding it down to one that's already adjacent, you get more points for having placed this here. So ideally, you are placing or arranging and ordering the placement of these on your board in such a way that you get lots of points. You also can get some bonus points for different things like completing entire columns, completing entire rows, and if you get all 5 of a certain color or of any color finished by the end of the game, then you get 10 big bonus points. Usually like a good score is like in the 60s or 70s at the end of the game. Once you've played this a few times, you'll get up there. This is an awesome game. You can play this game forever and probably not get sick of it. Such a great family weight game. Really easy to teach, really easy to play. Comes with great components, and it's won a ton of awards for good reason. That's Azul, and we have 2 full cases of this. We have been waiting for months. We have several copies reserved by people who have been very patient waiting for it. The whole country has been sold out. Well, the whole world has been sold out during that entire period of time. And so now the world can feast on more Azul. And so there's this case and that case full of brand new copies of Azul. And there we go. I'm really happy to have that back in stock. I love the way they pack these with these beautiful corner protecting pieces in the box. That's appreciated because they come in mint condition all the time like this. Very nice. Oh, fun. Here we have one more copy of Azul. There's no sticker, but I'm pretty sure this is a demo copy. We have 1 copy in our library, and we wanted 2 copies in our library because it's such a popular game and such a great game that we know we can teach people at the cafe very quickly. So we wanted another copy. So here it is. Next we have some Munchkin games. Munchkin Side Quest. I actually don't remember ordering this one. I wonder if this one was a special order. Side Quest is an expansion for the Munchkin Dungeon board game. Maybe I just ordered both of these at the same time because this is the new Munchkin Dungeon game. Kick open the door, fight the monster, grab the loot, and level up. Actually, I think that's the same slogan for the base Munchkin game. But this is a neat board game version of Munchkin. It's a competitive push-your-luck dungeon game. Each round, you explore further, seeking loot, fame, and foes to defeat. It says there, and of course, it wouldn't be a dungeon with a capital D if there wasn't a boss of the final level ready for epic battle. Beat it and gain fame, lose and get kicked back to the beginning. So Munchkin's a hilarious push your luck card game with some take that mechanics in it, and now this version, Munchkin Dungeon, is a CMON production now, and in association with Steve Jackson Games, the developers of the game. And this is an expansion for it called Side Quest. There's 4 new heroes in this version, in this expansion, and some nice minis too. I mean, it's from CMON, right? So of course they had to put some minis in there. CMON wouldn't make this game without having a board, because without a board there's no reason for minis. So there you go. They always make nice sculpts. And there we go. So that's Munchkin Dungeon. We were running low, if not completely sold out, of Ticket to Ride. So there is a restock of Ticket to Ride, the classic. Well, I mean, it's a modern classic. 8 million sold to date. root building game by Alan Moon. And we haven't been stocking these yet, but people have been asking for them. So here are some expansion maps for Ticket to Ride. We have the United Kingdom, we have Asia, and we have the Netherlands. Now, I don't know too much about the Netherlands and the United Kingdom map yet, but I do know about Asia, and I do believe it's in our library here. Yep, there it is, over there in our library, right there. And this is cool because this is a team version of Ticket to Ride. So it's a 6-player game, and you play in pairs. And you're completing routes as a team. But there's some shared information, like you're not allowed to tell your partner exactly what cards you have in your hand, but there's a spot where you're allowed to share some cards with each other. And it comes with, does it show it on the box? It doesn't, but it comes with these really nice wooden card holders, like a wooden thing with a slot that you can slot the cards in so that you can stand them up and show your partner the cards. There's a mechanic for being allowed to take some cards and put it in the shared pool. So each team will have one of those. Ticket to Ride Asia is super fun. What a neat way to play this game. And it, you know, instead of it being a 5-player game, it's now a 6-player game. And it's also a team game. So I really like Ticket to Ride Asia. And I've heard good things about United Kingdom and Netherlands, and they're now back in stock. So there we go, adding to our selection of Ticket to Ride games at the store. Wow, that is neat. I really like that. Oh, this is our demo copy of Small World of Warcraft. Oh, so excited. I forgot we ordered a demo copy. We get to open this one. Yay. Okay, I'm not going to open it because it would take me a while to get through everything. But we do have quite a few copies that we've ordered, some of which are put aside now for people. But, oh wow. So Small World has been around for a long time, the game Small World. And then now they've gotten together with Blizzard and made Small World of Warcraft. So instead of the fantasy races from the original game, you can have a bunch of Warcraft, World of Warcraft races. This is an area control game, and let's see, what does it say here? It's a standalone board game set in Blizzard's Azeroth universe. 2 to 5 players vie for control of several islands in this hostile world, and the only hope will be to pick the right combination of races and special powers. So it works very similarly to Small World, where you are going to get a race and an associated special power. These two decks get shuffled independently, and so every game you'll have different combinations of the races and the powers that go together, and you're going to place tokens, basically, you know, units, army units for that race onto the board, and it's a area control game. But it's not luck based. It's not like die rolls. There is a little bit of die rolling in this game, but it's very, very minor. It's like for like pushing your luck over the edge. It doesn't always work. It actually rarely works. But most of the game is totally deterministic in terms of the combat system, which is one of the things that makes this game so fun. Unlike games like Risk, where you can lose just because you can't roll any good dice. This game is a lot more skill based, and it's really neat that they've taken this game that's been out for a long time and rethemed it in a meaningful way. I look forward to seeing what other improvements and changes they've made over the base Small World, which itself has a lot of expansions. And here's a new one. So Small World of Warcraft, another reason to come to the cafe, give that one a try. Now we have Catan Cities and Knights scenario, Legends of the Conquerors. Now, I don't know about this one. I just know it was coming out, and I wanted to make sure we had at least one. So there it is. This is a legendary campaign of 3 linked scenarios. So that's all I know about that. But if you are a big Catan fan and you've been buying these scenario expansions, then you'll be excited about this. I have seen people talking about it online with some anticipation, so very cool. Now the next one, I know like basically nothing about this game. I'll just be totally honest with you. This is Wild Space, a game by Joachim Thome, illustrated by Emile, I'm not gonna say that right, Emily Guinet. It's a tactical card game where you strive to combine your cards in the most efficient sequence possible. Actually, I did know something about this. I actually read some articles about this and watched a video back when I ordered it. I've forgotten. Not to say that this is a forgetful game. I was actually so pumped about this game that instead of just ordering like 1 or 2 like I might with a game that's brand new, that isn't tested yet, I ordered 3 copies and a demo. And so I do remember this game was very easy to teach and play, and looked like a really good candidate for our library. So we do have a demo copy. Again, I'm not going to open it right now because the video is already getting super long, but this one does look very fun, and I definitely recommend you check out the reviews for this. Now I'm remembering, it's all coming back to me. Very, very positive things I've heard about this. Now, next up, I just noticed these are some promos for Small World of Warcraft, and I do believe you will be getting one of these when you buy a copy of the game at no extra charge from us. This was given to us by Asmodee and Days of Wonder. So very cool, some special dice. I don't know what they do or anything yet, but I think they're just colored dice, but they're nice. There you go, free dice. Who doesn't like dice? Free dice, I like free dice. And then, let's see, what do we have? Oh yeah, Spot It. So let's open this up. This is a staple in board game cafes, honestly, Spot It. It's such an easy game to teach and play, and for whatever reason, we just didn't have it. And so now we have it too. And this is a display for the counter at the store. But we're gonna take one of them out, at least one of them out. Oh, I'm gonna have to open that too, 1 second. For the library collection. So here's Spot It. And this is the waterproof version. I can't tell you right now why you'd want a waterproof version, although I suppose maybe the Board Game Cafe will benefit from that because these will last longer. But Spot It is a game where you see some cards and you need to, as quickly as you can, spot the thing that's shared between. There's always exactly one matching symbol between any 2 cards. So if you spot it first, you can grab it, and that's yours. And basically, you want to have as many cards as you can at the end of the game. So it's a bit of a dexterity game, a bit of a matching game. Super fun. I've played this quite a bit at board game cafes. This is a game where maybe you're waiting for somebody to show up. A couple of you show up early, and you want to play something fast while you wait for the rest of your friends to show up. So you just grab Spot It off the shelf and play that for 5 or 10 minutes. Super fun little game. Takes seconds to learn, and there we go. So now we have the strangely waterproof version of Spot It in stock and in the library. All right, full case Small World of Warcraft. There you go. Again, some of these are taken already, but some of them are left. Cheryl just walked by there as we were unboxing this, so thanks, Cheryl. There you go. That's some more of that. You can see there's stock available for you too. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, so we previously unboxed the card game, Modern Art, the card game, which is right here in our library. There it is. And here is the full version of the game called Modern Art, both by Reiner Knizia. And yeah, this is an auction game, which is cool because it's a cool auction game because there's a whole bunch of different types of auctions you can do in Modern Art. Lots of different auction bidding mechanics, and that's real art, and it's really fun game, honestly. I've played this several times. I've grown to love it. The first time I played it, I was so awful at it. I was kind of not enjoying it, but really I was just not enjoying my own ineptness. But I learned a lot from that first play. You need to be careful in this game. This is a tricky game. You need to think about why you're bidding on certain things, and I just wasn't thinking hard enough. I was just sort of playing like a casual. This is a tricky bidding game, an auction game, and it's really, really fun. And if you get good at all of those auction mechanics and you figure out what's the strategy in this game, boy, oh boy, if you have a whole table full of people that know what they're doing, this is a cutthroat auction game and so much fun. So we have finally brought that back in stock. I believe one of these copies is meant for the cafe library. See if I find one. They might not have put a sticker on it. I don't see a demo sticker, but I think one of these copies is destined for the library. Let's keep going. We had run out of Ice Team, and so now we have a restock of Ice Team, which is a fun race game, 2-player race game by the Flying Games. Bruno Cathala is the designer, along with Matthew Dunstan, and art by Camille Chaussy. Really fun game, and the components are really nice, as you can see. There's actually 4 more of these inside the box, but I like what Flying Games is doing, showing off the quality of their components outside the box. So there we go. We do have this in the, I'm pretty sure we have a copy of this in the library as well. Already, actually. So there we go, Ice Team back in stock. Oh, there's another copy. Unfortunately, we don't have the base game of this, but we have a customer who's waiting for the base game. So until then, we've brought in a couple copies of some of the expansions that are in stock, and we're just going to hold them for that person until the base game comes in. Well, these won't be much use without the base game, right? So, but Escape the Dark Castle, the game of atmospheric adventure. I have not played this and don't know too much about it. It was I was told about it by the customer who got me into it, and then I was reading about it. I'm like, hey, this is actually a pretty neat game. It's by Themeborn, but I have not had the chance to play it yet or do a real deep dive into what it's about, so I can't share too much right now. I think there's 2 copies of each of these, so I think the next box we open will have the other copy. There's 2 expansions here. There's Adventure Pack 1 and 3. Obviously that means there's a 2, but that one is not in stock right now for whatever reason. And I think we have 2 copies of each of those in the shipment. Oh, okay. So not only do we have Marvel Splendor, but we also have Splendor. Marc-André's original Splendor game, which we have played so many times. Absolutely love this game, and I do look forward to trying the Marvel version. But if you're not into the Marvel version, then here is the original Splendor, which, as I say every time I unbox this, I mean, it's amazing. Like, this game is amazing, but it's still amazing to me that they haven't changed the box, because this box doesn't sell the game, in my opinion. This is such an amazing, simple to learn game, and the art is just so intimidating, in my opinion. You're probably, if you watch all my videos, you're probably sick of me saying that. I say it every time, but I love this game, and I wish it had a really fun box, and I guess maybe that's what this is. Slightly more fun. It's still pretty daunting, but I mean, everybody knows Thanos, right? So it's a little bit more accessible. Now that Disney's involved, maybe they can make a Mickey Mouse Splendor or something way even more friendly than Thanos. I don't know how that would work, but Splendor's an awesome game, and so is Century Spice Road, which people, when this came out, were saying, oh, this is the Splendor killer. It's actually fairly similar mechanically to Splendor. You're collecting cubes instead of chips, but you're collecting certain combinations of them, just like in Splendor, to get cards that score you points. But the way it works is different. Instead of using those cards to increase your economic advantage in Splendor, like in Splendor, you have these cards that you're deck building that you use to convert and upgrade different cubes into other cubes so that you can have the right combination to get these points cards. I like both. I may slightly enjoy Splendor more, but both games are great. They're both super accessible, easy to learn, and play pretty quickly. And I really enjoy both of them. So that is Splendor Spice Road. Sorry, Splendor Spice Road. Century Spice Road. My goodness, it really is just kind of Let's just call it Splendor Spice Road. And that's strange. Maybe this was the last box, but I thought I ordered 2 of each of those. So I'm gonna have to double check to see whether I'm mistaken or maybe they missed one. Okay, well, 1 more copy of the first adventure back for Escape. Maybe the other one is just back ordered or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, in any case, it doesn't really matter. Let's finish up, because that was it. That was it for this monster unboxing of something like 14 boxes that collected over the last week and a bit as we were dealing with unfortunate family situations out of town. So again, thanks for watching this video. And you know, I'm getting a little bit sick of saying it, but real soon now, right? Trust me, at this time, we are on the final stretch. We have our business license. We're all ready to go. We're legally permitted to operate. We just need to do some finishing touches, getting everything ready. And hopefully by the end of the week, we will be open. So we can't wait for that to happen. And again, thanks for watching. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon so you get notified when these videos come out, so you know what's new on the site. As you can see, sometimes we order a ton of copies of stuff like Azul, but sometimes we only order a couple copies, and so if you watch these videos, you'll find out what's available, so you can snag those things before they're gone and you have to wait for another restock. So have a great night, and we look forward to seeing you at the cafe this weekend. And until then, have a great week, and talk to you soon. Bye.